Hey, welcome to our Market of the Moment update for the week of October 25th. What's up, Chris?
Hey, hey.
Hey, we got Chris Madrid with Guaranteed Rate with us again today. Man, I think we're about to finish up our second solid month of this. August? No,
Yeah, man.
end of August, hitting the end of October now. So been pretty consistent. I've been proud of us.
I know. Except, last week was a little rough. I have never been in so much back pain as I was last week, and thank the Lord,
Yes. So
it
yeah,
is
the
so
story
much
last
better this
week,
week.
we did take the week off. Chris had some back issues, and then this week I've got finger issues. Might have broke my pinky yesterday getting in the truck, but
Welcome back to
not as
Amy.
bad as your back. I know that. So anyway, we're going to dive
That's what happens when you
into
you bump your gums to Amy, though.
yeah. So we're going to get into our update this week. It's been interesting how the market's been going. I'm interested to hear about interest rates. I keep hearing about inflation. I know gas prices are up and things. So interested to talk a little bit about that. So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully,
It's as you're making the screen changes there, I remember, beginning of the year looking at I go fill up at Costco. This is not a plug for Costco where there's no ownership interest or anything like that. But I remember, looking at the two, and then I always look at the premium. It was, last year it was 250 or something a gallon, right?
yeah.
And this morning when I had to go fill up, it was like 323 a gallon.
Wow.
And it's just, yeah, it's gas is up and milk prices are up, and yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of our pandemic situation and obviously supply chain and lots of
Oh
things.
yeah, all the things, all the
So,
things. Hey, thankfully today, so today we actually had a really nice dip in interest rates. Um, the beginning of the week, I think you were pushing, 3.1, maybe 3.2 on a 30-year fixed, and we've dropped back down to about 3% today. Now, is that going to stay? Probably not, right? It's a nice little reprieve from where they've been pushing. But yeah, if you're, in the process of doing something, I would definitely look at rates today because they're the best that they've been in the last couple of weeks.
okay.
Overall, again, we're still seeing upward trends, right? Rates will be higher towards the end of the year. So if you're going to do something, or you have the ability to do something, I would recommend doing it now, right, versus waiting. And again, everything that I can see, we're next year, like 2022, right? We're pushing upward. So, I'm from what I'm seeing, trends are, probably mid threes to high threes next year. We may have another dip, right? We may see where interest rates come back down, probably off of those highs. But again, I mean, it may be several months where, you're in the mid to high threes. And like we've talked before, right? We keep ringing that same bell of what you qualified for at a 2.5% rate versus what you qualify for at a 3.5% rate. There's a big difference. So yeah, that 1% does make a pretty significant difference. So, and I think, I'm seeing that people are, taking that advice. Applications, starting the really last week, which was fun and a challenge in itself. We're seeing 3 to 5 applications a day, where before, maybe the beginning of October, we were only seeing 1 to 3 a day, right? So applications are a little bit up, and that may be. I was having another conversation, and it for me, it always seems like it's this time of year, right? Before the holidays, before Thanksgiving, before Christmas. If people are making moves, they want to, do that before the holidays. So it may just be the typical, seasonal increase that we see in applications. But it's definitely picked up, right? I mean, it seemed like there was a little bit of a lull a couple weeks ago, but yeah, things are moving back up. So
What do you, I don't know if you guys track or, keep kind of track of what people are qualifying for, and as far as, what buying power people are looking to have or needing to have, I guess is my point.
Well, yeah, and it's different, different in all your areas, right? I mean, I work with, first time home buyers and, your move up, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time home buyers, right? And it is interesting seeing how, if you're looking for something in the twos, you're outside of the Metroplex, right? You're not even in Dallas, Rockwall, Collin, Tarrant, Denton County, right? You're Alice, Grayson. You're outside of the typical DFW maps, I guess, because essentially, like, there's, from an affordable housing perspective, man, it's next to impossible to find something in your typical first time home buyer range of 200 to 300,000,
Yeah.
right? Because the stuff that we're seeing at that price point, you need to have a general contractor in your back pocket that can get out there and do some work pretty quick, right? And most people don't have access to that. And then not only that, they're, everybody that does, building construction out there is, 6 months out, 8 months out, 12 months out, right? Like it's crazy. So, I mean, I know in, like kind of my backyard in McKinney, like you're not purchasing for less than 400,000, right? In some cases, we're just talking about, new builds in Salina where you're not starter homes, but essentially a starter almost, right? In Salina is 500,000.
Yeah, there's not too many first-time home buyers moving to Salina. The house,
much less Frisco.
Yeah, it's just tough to be a first-time home buyer in Collin County, pretty hard in Denton County, I think. So anyway, our point basically is these prices are going up. I wanted Chris to emphasize, I mean, it's 3 to 5 pretty regular as far as apps in a normal year. So
it is, it is, and that's there's always ebbs and flows of when things kind of scale back a little bit, but that's your typical, like if you're busy, you're doing 3 to 5 plus a day, right? I mean, that's they're coming in pretty steadily. So
cool. You got anything else to add before we move on to the housing market?
No, we can keep I'll drop some little nuggets as we go. Something to think about.
Perfect. All right, well, we're going to move on to our housing market stats. Some interesting things happened, just like with interest rates. I think in the last several weeks, we had seen things in the market trending in I guess we'd say a downward position, making it better for buyers, I guess. But this week, last 7 days, prices ticked back up in Collin County. So we ticked up 0.2 of a point as far as our list price to contract price. Stayed 7 days on market, and then the market getting tougher in Collin County, we dropped down to a 0.9 month supply, not even a full month supply of houses on the market. And we're going to look at some more of those numbers here in a little bit, but been in real estate for 6 months, and that's the first time, or I've been in real estate for 6 years, and that's the first time I've seen inventory under a month. And I've been hearing of a housing shortage the whole 6 years of my career. But to me, I believe this is the first time I've seen an under a month. So Denton County trending much the same as Collin, like last. As usual, you're still paying a little bit over list in Denton County, but it remained the same. All the numbers remain the same from last week. 7 days on market, 1 month supply, but it wouldn't surprise me if next week that doesn't drop down to 0.9. Dallas County, we're still under list there at 99.6, just barely. That stayed the same. 10 days on market, and then once again, they lost 1/10 of a month of their supply in Dallas County. Grayson County, actually under list price, even ticked up another 1/10 of a point, or excuse me, ticked down. It was at 98, I believe. So not much change, but just a tad.
Mhm.
Tarrant County remain the same. You're almost paying just 1% over in Tarrant County, 8 days above or on market, and a 1.1 month supply. I also probably see that ticking down in the next couple of weeks. And then Parker County, once again, we're at 99.5, so about 0.5% under ask. That actually ticked up a little bit this week, 13 days on market, and they are down to a 2 month supply. It was 2.1 last
Yeah.
week. So
Yeah, I think the big, obviously, again, this is something we've talked about before, because it says, 100.8 in Tarrant County doesn't mean that's what you have to offer to get the home, right?
yeah,
That's the average, which means there's some that were lower, and then obviously there's some that were higher.
yeah,
I think the thing to obviously keep in mind, right, is if you found a home that is newly updated, the appliances and quartz or granite countertops and new flooring and all that kind of stuff, right? All the modern bells and whistles that people are looking for. If it's newly remodeled or updated, it's just on the market, there will be competition, right? So you're not like, you can't, it's one of those where you can't go in and offer 0.8% over
yeah,
list and think you're going to get it, right? I mean, this is an average, from obviously it takes all of the data into account, but specifically I think one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is if you really like a home, right, and it's in your price point, there's a good chance there's 10 or 15 other people that really like it too, right?
really
Especially
like
if
it
it's,
too.
and those are those things that they have to really think about. And if you really like it, you need to, get after it and kind of pull out all the stops to get it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I have any printed off, but so like when I run comps for my buyers, when we're deciding what to offer, I'm looking at the max that's sold in the last 90 days. What the max sold over, it might be 10%. I'm looking at the average, which might be 2%. And then I'm putting those two together and getting that,
6.5 or whatever.
yeah, that 6.5% number. And then I'm basically taking the list price, adding those numbers together, and I'm letting my client know, like, if you can go to sleep not getting this house, then here it is. But if you can't go to sleep, you need to offer this number over here,
At least this.
which is probably the 6.5. And they usually come back to me and say, well, I want to go ahead and offer the 8, if they really want it. So great point. When you look at 100.8, there's some people in there that got houses at 98%, and there's some in there that got it at 102%. So you need a great agent on both the mortgage side and to represent you, to know what to offer. We're working with a client we picked up last week that she's lost out on 3 other offers. So we are fortunate enough to get to work with them now, because they have confidence that we're going to give them the correct, proper data to win that offer. So we're going to move on to this slide real quick. Have been talking to a lot of buyers about the market. We've talked in past weeks about a possible crash or bubble and reasons why that's not going to happen, or shouldn't happen. But so I've got a couple quotes up here. In 2005, I had a strong sense the hot market would turn, and that when it turned, things would get very ugly. Today I don't have that sense at all, because all the fundamentals are there. The fundamentals he's speaking about is inventory. He's speaking about guidelines that have been put in the mortgage industry, whether it's getting the loan or cashing out the equity on the loan. So all of those things have changed since 2005. And then the bottom graphic is basically home prices are forecast to continue to move up over the next 5 years. Chris and I was talking earlier, in the past couple of years, we've been getting 16, 17% equity out of our properties. And 2022, 23, 24, 25, moving forward, we're still going to be getting equity, but it's going to be most likely more in that normal range, which is anywhere from
Normal, for
5 to
sure.
7%. So, if you're paying $500,000 for a house, you really don't have to worry about it next year or 2 or 3 years later not being worth 500. It's going to be worth 525, and then it's going to be worth 530, and then 535, something along those lines. That would be my predictions. And what causes me to say that is the graphic in the middle is the basically the current listed pending sold, and then the difference in those from the last 7 days. So this is 7-day numbers from Collin County, and it was the last 7 days. So these are very current numbers. So in Collin County, there were only 236 houses listed in the last 7 days, but 350 sold and 380 are pending, which means they're days or a week from closing. And we only have 236 coming on. So that's a differential of 495 homes. You look at Denton County, it's a difference of 446 homes. You look at Dallas, it's a difference in 625 homes. Of course, in our rural areas, those numbers are probably a little more closer to normal and where they should be. But you get to Tarrant County, and if you remember earlier, I said I predict in the next couple of weeks their inventory is going to drop. It's due to this number right here. They're 809 homes short of what went off the market in the last 7 days coming on.
Wow.
So you have to imagine the 440 or the 600, let's see, the 638 that closed, there's still that many people out there looking at only 400 and some houses, if not more. So that is data that supports both of these slides as far as price appreciation or a crash of some sort. If this was a positive number over here in green, we would have things to worry about. if we had a 350 listed and only 150 getting going sold and 50 pending, then we might start having issues. But so you got anything to add on that, Chris?
No. I mean, again, the conversations, same conversations like this that I have is, I mean, right now you have to prove every single penny that you have that you're putting towards a home to qualify from a loan perspective, right? And then that you have the ability to repay it. So again, the stated income, stated asset programs of 2005 are essentially no longer in existence for your traditional financing, right? There are non-traditional options that are out there, but again, there's a different underwriting criteria for those programs. And essentially, people that are buying homes now have the ability to repay, right? So we're not seeing the foreclosures that were expected, because essentially people can afford to make their mortgage payments, right? So I don't see near the amount of foreclosures coming on the market that that people were talking about, because essentially the people that have purchased can repay the loan, essentially can repay the mortgage. So
between having the ability to repay the mortgage and then having so much equity in it, if you had to restructure, it's possible in 2021, where in 2007 you had cashed all your equity out and spent it on a pool, and and so you didn't have the equity to do it.
You're upside down when you try to sell, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So just so much different. Builder inventory, I think, is 3 million homes behind, 3 to 5 million. That's a huge issue. So lots of things supporting a lack of possibility for that to happen. Although if you listen to the news, they're going to tell you to worry about it.
The sky's falling.
That's what we do in the news. So we're going to wrap it up. Any housing needs, looking to buy, sell, invest, reach out to Amy or I. 469-369-0873 is our phone. Any refinance, looking to buy, we're going to set you up with Chris. You can reach out to him at 214-734-1531. He'll get you taken care of, whether you're looking at VA, conventional, FHA. There's about nothing Chris can't do. Refis. So, all right,
Absolutely.
we're going to log off. I think it's time for me to go look at a house.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
See ya.